Why do we sometimes feel uncomfortable when people close to us succeed? This question appears in many cultures, even if the expressions are different. In some places, there is a saying about feeling pain when a relative gains something valuable. But the phrase itself is not important. What matters is the emotion behind it. Across cultures, people experience the same quiet discomfort when someone close, a friend, a sibling, a coworker, or a relative, suddenly moves far ahead in life. What makes this feeling confusing is that it often appears alongside genuine care. When a close friend struggles, we usually feel clear empathy. We want them to do better. Their improvement feels hopeful rather than threatening. But when that same person suddenly achieves major success, the emotional landscape changes. We still want to support them, but another feeling quietly enters the room. It is not anger. It is not hatred. It is something harder to name. A mix of admiration, tension, and self-doubt. This reaction is not about success itself. We rarely feel disturbed by the success of people who feel distant from us. When a celebrity becomes wealthy or famous, it barely affects us emotionally. Even extremely rich strangers may inspire curiosity or admiration, but not discomfort. The difference is psychological distance. We never believed we were on the same path as them. Their success does not challenge our self-image. People close to us occupy a different mental space. Friends, relatives, and colleagues exist in what psychologists call a comparison zone. Even if we never consciously think about it, we often assume we are moving through life at roughly the same pace. We imagine similar timelines, similar progress, similar futures. When that assumption breaks, discomfort appears. Their success forces an unexpected comparison. It silently raises questions about our own position, choices, and direction. From an evolutionary perspective, this makes sense. Humans evolved in small groups where relative position mattered. Being too far behind others could mean fewer resources, less security, or lower status within the group. Although modern life no longer works this way directly, the emotional system remains sensitive to relative standing. Our minds are still wired to notice shifts in position, especially among those closest to us. This is why the discomfort feels stronger with proximity. The closer someone feels to us, the more their success reflects back on us. It is not that we want them to fail. In most cases, we do not. The discomfort comes from being forced to reassess ourselves sooner than we expected. Their success does not just change their life. It quietly changes the emotional balance of the relationship. What complicates this further is that multiple emotions can exist at the same time. We can be genuinely happy for someone and still feel jealous. We can celebrate their achievement while privately feeling unsettled. These emotions do not cancel each other out. They coexist. The problem begins when we believe that feeling jealousy automatically makes us a bad person. That belief turns a natural emotional response into shame. Psychologists often describe jealousy not as a moral failure, but as a signal. It highlights areas of unmet desire, delayed goals, or unresolved comparisons. In that sense, jealousy does not necessarily point outward. It points inward. It tells us something about what we care about, what we value, and where we feel uncertain. Trouble arises when this feeling is denied or suppressed. When we refuse to acknowledge it, jealousy can transform into bitterness or silent resentment. But when we recognize it without judgment, its intensity often decreases. Awareness shifts the experience from self-criticism to self-understanding. Instead of asking why someone else succeeded, we can ask why their success affected us so strongly. This perspective changes how we think about human nature. The question is not whether humans are good or bad by default. Human nature is complex. We are capable of deep empathy and intense comparison at the same time. We are designed to cooperate, but also to compete. The discomfort we feel when someone close succeeds is not evidence of a flawed character. It is evidence of a human mind responding to change in its social environment. Understanding this does not mean we must enjoy the feeling. It simply means we stop treating it as a personal failure. The moment we accept that this reaction is common and human, we gain distance from it. We can still support others sincerely. We can still grow at our own pace. And we can learn to observe our internal reactions without letting them define us. So when people say that success close to home hurts more than success far away, they are not describing cruelty. They are describing proximity. The closer someone is to our sense of self, the louder their success echoes inside us. Recognizing this helps us replace silent guilt with honest awareness and comparison with clarity. This has been Brain Bloom Studio. If you found this perspective meaningful, please like the video and consider subscribing. Thank you for listening.